mode.
Okay. Wait, so you'll be recording us?
Recording.
She's gonna call us out for bad and send it to our parents.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
But that's what you said yesterday.
I know.
What do you mean that's a good idea then? I thought so.
I can say it's a good idea because it was mine. Shh. All right. Here we go. We're talking about simplifying expressions today. So like you saw in the video, you're going to be talking about combining things that are like termed. Now when we talk about like terms, we're talking about values that have identical variables raised to the same power. Identical variables raised to the same power. So let's go ahead and write that down. Like terms. Have identical variables. Raised to the same power, meaning that the variable has the same exponent. So if I have x to the second, that's different than x to the fifth. Those would not be considered like terms, but x to the second and another x to the second, those are the same term. Those are like terms. Now when we're talking about like terms, constants don't have variables, but they're considered to be like terms to each other. So with a constant, it's just a number. So I can combine a plain number with another plain number. Those are like terms within themselves because they don't have any variable. Now it's really important to remember that when you are combining like terms, you have to include the operation that is in front of the term. So let's make that a really important note. Always, 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 always include the operation in front of the term. Now, in front of the term means it's on the left side of the term. So plus 7. Minus 6x. Okay? In front of it means it's the one that's written before it. And when you're combining your like terms, you can always rewrite with like terms side by side. So these are some key important rules or facts to know about combining our like terms. So if I have a statement, 10x plus 6 minus 3x plus 9. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my first term, and my first term is that 10x. And I'm going to see, do I have any other terms that are like 10x? Do I have any like terms to 10x? Rachel? 3x, but we don't just say 3x, we include the operation that's in front of it. So what's the operation in front of it? Minus 3x. So we include that minus 3x. Now, the reason I need to include it is because when I separate it out, that minus sign now acts like a what? A negative. Okay? Do I have any other terms that are like terms to 10x or the negative 3x? No. There's no more x terms. So now I'm going to move on to my next term that I've got. I've got a plus 6. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that one in purple. So that way I know, hey, this is different than the 10x. This is different than the negative 3x. Do I have any like terms to that plus 6? Plus 9, yeah. And those are both called constants. And remember, constants are considered like terms. We can combine those. And now I'm going to look at the next step. The next step says I can go ahead and rewrite my like terms so that they're side by side. So I can write 10x minus 3x. I can write those side by side with each other because they're like terms. What's 10x minus 3x, Cameron? 7x. 7x. Right? All you're doing is just saying, okay, I'm going to take 10 and I'm going to subtract 3. But instead of 10 minus 3, it's 10x minus 3x. So I've got 7x. Okay, then we also have a positive 6 plus a 9. So what is positive 6 plus 9 going to give me? 15. Positive or negative? Positive. So since it's positive, what sign do you think I need to write? A plus sign. So I'm going to write plus 15. So here's my final answer. I'm going to put it in one color so that I know it's my final answer. Can I combine those together? No. Right? It's just the same as, hey, you can't combine, you know, with that order. You can't say, oh, a large Coke is the same thing as a small Coke. Those are separate things. 7x is a separate thing or a separate term than a 15. So I cannot combine it any further. This is as far as it can go. So 7x plus 15 is my final answer when I'm simplifying my expressions. All right. So let's work through a couple of these. We have 6n minus 7n minus 4 plus n plus 2n. Okay. Let's start with the first term that we have. We have the 6n. Who can raise their hand and tell me what are all the like terms to 6n? Jonathan? So this minus 7n and this plus 2n. Anything else that's a like term to it? Rachel? N. Just plain old n, right? Plus n. All of these are like terms because they all are the same variable. They're all variables of n. Anthony, hood off, please. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down. I've got a 6n minus 7n plus n plus 2n. I'm going to write all of them side by side. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a number in front of this n. But there is one that exists. Who can remind us what number is there even if it's not written? Isabella? 1. A 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write a little 1 there so that way I know it exists. And now I'm going to work through this. What's 6n minus 7n plus 1n plus 2n? If I work it all out, 6 minus 7 plus 1 plus 2. Cameron? Not 4n. Robertson? 2 what? 2n, right? 6 minus the 7 is going to give you negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is going to give you 0. and then 0 plus 2 is going to give you 2. So this whole thing here is 2n. The whole thing is 2n. Yes, Rachel?
How do you get a negative from 6 and
6 minus 7 is a negative 1, right? But 6 is smaller than 7. Right? If it was 7 minus 6, that would be a 1. But this is 6 minus 7. That's the negative 1. Okay? All right, now, we're not done, though. I've highlighted all my like terms, but I still have one that doesn't have a like term to it. So what do you think I'm going to do with that value? Just write it into the solution, right? Okay, so we're just going to write a minus 4 into that solution. So our final answer is 2n minus 4. 2n minus 4. This is our simplified expression. We use combining like terms to simplify it. Jonathan? It's not a negative 2. Guys, use your calculator if you need to. 6 minus 7 plus 1 plus 2 gives you a positive 2. You guys are looking at me shell-shocked. Use your calculator if you need to. Jonathan, did you use it?
Yes.
And did you get positive 2?
No.
Then you typed something in wrong.
No. No, I put it in. It's negative 4. Sorry, minus 4. And I put minus 4. So it's negative 2.
What did you put in, honey?
Minus 7
Plus 2.
plus 1. Minus 4.
Why did you put minus 4?
But it says right next to it.
But that's minus 4, not minus 4n. You can only, once again, listen to me. Shh. Because this is where you guys are going to mess up. You can only do this portion together. That minus 4 is off to the side. That's why I did it in a different color. Everything that's in one color can be done together. Everything that's in a different color gets done together. I cannot do minus 4 because it's not a 4n. If it was a 4n, then I could do it. Jonathan, are you listening? You seem more focused on thinking that you're right than listening.
I realized I was wrong. You don't have to assume anything. I'm listening to you about how I was wrong.
Okay. Do you understand why you're wrong? Okay, just making sure. All right, let's go on to another problem. Nine y minus 7 plus 4 plus 11y. Ariana, what's my like term to 9y?
Your light term. Just say light.
What's the like term to 9y?
The light term.
Like terms to 9y.
Light. Oh, light. To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention. So I know.
Hands down. Like terms means same variable, dear.
I forgot what like term means. She just told you. Oh, I wasn't listening. Oh my.
Like term means same variable.
Oh, right.
Make sure you are paying attention. I will call on you. And like Kalel has so generously reminded that this video is easily sent out to parents. I'm going to rewrite it so that 9y plus 11y is written side by side. What is 9y plus 11y going to give us? Cameron?
20
Very good. What other like terms do we have? Rachel? Negative 7 and a positive 4. Remember, the minus sign can act like a negative sign when you isolate it. So that's a negative 7 plus 4. What is negative 7 plus 4 going to give us? Negative 3. So now when I piece the whole thing together, my final answer is 20y minus 3. I'm going to piece it all together. I get 20y minus 3. And that's as simplified as it gets because you cannot combine or work out 20y minus 3. They are not like terms. One of them's a variable term, one of them's just a constant. We've got 3x plus 2 minus 6x minus 10. Kalel, what's my like term to 3x? Not just 6x, it's a minus 6x. Do not forget to include the operation in front of it. Do not forget to include the operation that's in front. So when I rewrite it, it's 3x minus 6x. There's handhelds over there. What is 3x minus 6x going to give us? Layla? Try. Three minus 6. A small number minus a large number. You had the right number, but you didn't have the right value, the right sign. Negative 3. So it's a negative 3x. You guys have to be careful about that. Those signs are going to throw you off. Negative 3x when we subtract them. What else is our like terms here? Alan? 2 and negative 10. So when we write them side by side, we've got a positive 2 and a minus 10. What is positive 2 minus 10 going to give us? Robertson? Negative 8. So when I piece the whole thing together, my final answer is a negative 3x minus 8. How do I get negative 8? Because it's a positive 2 minus 10. Small number minus a large number goes into the negatives. You guys got to remember your integer rules, but when in doubt, what do you have in front of you? Calculator. So you can type in 2 minus 10 and it'll tell you negative 8. Now what you cannot do, so I want to warn you ahead of time, you cannot type in 3x minus 6x. If you do that, it's going to give you the wrong answer. Most of the time, it'll just give you a 0. It won't give you syntax error. It'll just give you a 0. Because these calculators, even though these calculators have variables on them, they're not used for this situation. They're used for something entirely different, and I believe you'll get into that when you get into 8th grade. But they are not used for this situation. So if you sit there and type in 3, and then you do the alphabet and hit an X, and then type in minus, and then 6, and then the alphabet X, it's going to give you a wrong answer. It's not going to give you negative 3x. It won't even give you a variable. But to be able to do, it gave you 0? See, I told you. In order for you to be able to do 3x minus 6x, all you have to do is just type in 3 minus 6 and then get that answer, put an x behind it. Okay? All right, I want you guys to try this one on your own. Do this one on your own. Jonathan?
I don't get, like, you said, you wouldn't it be minus negative 8? Instead of incorporating the negative 8 and the minus sign?
No, the negative sign takes on the minus sign pretends it's a negative can pretend it's a minus.
But when you solve 2 minus 10, you got negative 8, but you wrote a positive 8. What if you solve
Nope,
minus sign?
I wrote negative 8. The negative, when pieced together with another term, now takes on the minus sign.
Okay. I'm not second guessing your
Anthony? Not right now, sweetie. All right, who can raise their hand, tell me what they got? Cameron? 6m minus 8 is correct. Okay, so here's our like terms. We have 8m minus 2m. So we're going to write 8m minus 2m. And when we subtract those, we're going to get 6m. Then we have a positive 3 and a negative 11. Notice I said negative 11. Even though that said minus 11, when I'm separating it out, I can call it a negative 11. Okay? So positive 3 or a plus 3 and a minus 11 or a negative 11, when we combine that together, that gives us a negative 8. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to squish these two together to get my answer of 6m minus 8. Okay? Let's go on and try another one on your own. Try that one. All right. Who's got it? Layla? Not plus 8. Tracy? No. Camry? I said Camry. Camry, not Cameron. Camry?
I got 4x plus 4.
4x plus 4. Okay? So if we take a look, we have 7x and then a minus 3x or a negative 3x. So 7x minus 3x is going to give us 4x. 7 minus 3 is 4. Then we've got a negative 2. Okay? That minus sign now acts like a negative sign. Negative 2 plus 6. You have to include the signs in front of it. Negative 2 plus 6 is going to give me a positive 4. So I'm going to put a little plus sign in front because I said it was positive. So that way I know when I write this together, when I merge it together, my answer is 4x plus 4. Okay, what I want you guys to do, your assignment for tonight, page 205 to 208. Those are where the assignment is going to span across. Pages 205 all the way through 208. You're going to be doing problems 4 through 14 all. Problem number 18. Problems 22 through 27 all. And then 32 through 34 all. There's your assignment. Get that written down and then pack up.